What's up, people? It's the beginning of November. It's a gloomy Tuesday afternoon, so it's very spooky. It's only just gotten cold, literally since it turned November. I only intend on this being just a quick little look into the beginning of November vlog for mushrooms, obviously, because I don't think there's much out yet. Well, that's a shame. This right here was where a nice load of wood bluets were growing last year. Might be a little bit early right now, but the ground's been completely churned up. There's some pretty little blushing brackets down here. As they mature, they blush into this rusty red colour. And there's not really anything interesting to know about these, I don't think. They're just pretty. I think this used to be in the Terracotta genus, which is the turkey-tailed genus, but it's changed a couple times since then. Here we go, I just grabbed a fresher one off of the log. But yeah, you can see the irregular shape to the pores. Super cool. I've also just spotted on this same log something interesting. So these are funeral bells, Gallerina marginata. I think that's how you say it. And these are very poisonous. They contain one of the same toxins, or some of the same toxins, as the death cap mushroom, which is also very poisonous, obviously. There's a little ring on the stipe of the funeral bell, and if you were comparing them to velvet shanks, the edible mushroom, there won't be a ring on the velvet shanks stipe. They just have a black velvety stem. I've noticed with the terracotta hedgehog mushrooms, the spines are a lot chunkier, and when I cook with the common hedgehog, I take all the spines off because I don't like them floating around in my food. And I tried to do that with these, but it was really difficult. Like, the spines are a lot chunkier. Oh, it kind of gives me the creeps. And the cap flesh is a lot thinner on these compared to the common hedgehog. So if you remove the spines, you're not left with much cap flesh. Whereas with the common hedgehog, I'll go and grab one. You can remove the spines, you're still left with a chunk, like quite a chunky piece of cap flesh to cook with. So I think these are much better for cooking with. Some people aren't that fussy though. Some people just cook them with all the spines on, but nah, I can't do it. It gives me like that trypophobia thing. Believe it or not, I don't actually eat a lot of mushrooms. I'll go out and pick specific ones that I need if I'm going to make a mushroom recipe, but that's not very often. I'm more interested in the medicinal side of mushrooms. So over here we've got some birch polypore. I've seen some people get a bit confused where they're brown like this. They can look really white, or they can have this brown coloration on. These ones are a bit older. This one's firmed up massively already. You have to kind of harvest them as soon as they're popping out, really, and they're very soft. Like, you could definitely still use this, but they're much easier to work with when they're soft and fresh. So I've put my flash on so you can see this really cool piece of green elf cup wood. There's no fruit bodies present on here. I actually found my first fruiting bodies the other day, which was really cool. I didn't have my camera, but I put the piece of wood in a hidden place so I can go back and get some pictures, and I'll post those at some point. And this wood used to be used in an old type of craft called intarsia, and they used to use this wood in their woodworking pieces. There was one of these in my most recent vlog, Amanita citrina, the false death cap. So I put in my last vlog that it's considered edible, And by considered, I mean that some people choose to eat it, some cultures choose to eat it. It's not recommended by most of my sources, because obviously it could be confused with the death cap, which you do not want to be eating. But I think this does contain some toxins in smaller amounts that are killed off or removed by cooking, and this is why it's considered edible. But it's not recommended. I don't really know why you would bother, to be honest, unless you're just like crazy. Let's just cross the path of Forestry Commission destruction. Ooh. Over there, I can see some mushrooms. As I've said before, the hedgehog mushroom is a foolproof, safe mushroom for beginner foragers. Go and watch some of the other vlogs where I talk about them a little bit and put a bit more information, just so I'm not repeating myself in every vlog. Oh, so I wasn't really expecting to see yellow chanterelles anymore. So these are the more summery chanterelle. I think they're Cantharellus cibarius. There is a few, 2 or 3, maybe more, species of yellow chanterelle normally grow towards the end of summer. This is probably the last of them though. Yeah, got my torch on because it's bloody dark at 3 p.m. So I was just thinking back over the last couple of months and how it's like been the worst season for porcinis or penny buns like ever. I didn't find a single one that was in decent condition, and they were just really sparse, and that's really sad because they're my favourite mushroom to find. So I'm just crouched down in this dark beach woodland, which is a really good place to find a mixture of mushrooms, and I've just found a bunch of these little purpley mushrooms. Now some people might think these are amethyst deceivers, but as you can see they haven't got purple gills. They're very pale, they're more of a lilac. I think they're something mycena, something similar to mycena pura. They've got that colour. Just accidentally knocked this little russula mushroom over. It's been washed out of its colour, so it looks like it was a reddy pink. And then next to it, got some of these webcaps, Cortinarius, which are well known for their... Oh, hello. This little sluggy was enjoying this mushroom. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Cortinarius, known for some of their poisonous species. These could well be a Telemonia species, which is a subgenus of Cortinarius. There's so many mushrooms in the Cortinarius genus, so it's quite hard to identify them. But anyway, as you can see, these have that rusty orange-brown spore print that's all over the gills and the top of the stipe, which is a characteristic when you're looking at Cortinarius. Put him back. There you go, Mr. Slug. I've just spotted an absolute beauty of a mushroom down here. Ooh, look at this. So this little beauty is a violet webcap. Cortinarius violaceus. And I'm pretty sure they're fairly uncommon. It's a very deep purple, almost purpley dark blue. It's considered edible in some authorities, but it's not recommended from any English sources because it is likely to give you issues. Not deadly poisonous, but not considered edible. Pretty crazy how bulbous the base is compared to the top. It's been munched by some slugs, I think, but the top of the cap is tiny compared to the base. Obviously it's not opened out yet. But yeah, it's a really stunning mushroom. I wish it was daylight so you could see the colour properly. So yeah, like I said, that was going to be just a quick vlog. I think I need to give the cold weather a chance to kick in first. So I'm thinking these are smoky brackets. I haven't found them before, but they seem to fit the bill. Clearly they look a lot like turkey tails, but they don't have such closely packed different coloured rings on the upper surface. And on the underside, the paws are like a smoky grey, not white like turkey tails. These are such a pretty colour. They've got grey paws behind that white zoning. We've also got some candlesnuff. That's my bag falling on the floor. Spore, baby, spore. Going back to the car because my 4 PM curfew has arrived. Can't be out in the dark now. I got so freaked last time. I'm gonna let the temperatures get a bit colder and come back in like 5 days and see if any of the colder weather mushrooms have come out like the wood bluets. So, see you then.